Attention gamers. Anytime one of these League of Legends branded webcam girls decides they are going to stick it to the eternal whining community of ADC mains by doing an ADC only challenge, it always ends the same way.
This role is legitimate mental torture and agony, and I cannot keep playing it anymore. I really just can't.
As they come to the realization that
because the problem is that you seriously can't do anything on your own.
But I hear this and I am just like, hold my beer, you elo inflated peasant. You just need to understand your strengths and be more analytical in your plays. An experienced ADC main knows exactly how to operate their kit. They know how to make their opponents vulnerable. They've built specifically for squishy targets that need to be run down. They've noted that they have the same amount of items as their prey. And deep down they know all they need to do is execute a few simple things and they will. Okay, so there are problems, but they aren't with the champs, they are with the role.
You have to make sure that either your jungle or your support are on the same page of you, if not even both, because if they're not, you are not allowed to even walk up for the wave.
All of the criticisms of ADCs are actually just criticisms of being bot lane.
When the CIA wants to torture people, they shouldn't be waterboarding them. They should just be putting them on Draven bot lane with a Nautilus support against a Tristana Yuumi and force them to watch as their jungler decides that he's gonna path top for the Malphite versus Sion lane, and then the enemy Elise is 3 camping you at 2 minutes.
Don't get me started on the supports. The amount of games that I've had where we 2v2 kill the enemy bot lane, and then my support decides that he's gonna find the portal to Narnia mid or top, and then I end up having to sit there and either die or play AFK under my turret for a minute and a half is ridiculous. Spoiler alert, Pike! If your Draven is—
As you have to serve a prison sentence for the incompetence of your support and jungler while being handicapped in XP in a side lane against champs in groups big enough to execute tower dives. So sure, streamers can hump SpongeBob stuffed animals and go back to elo inflated horses, but the real men know that playing ADC mid is how to show just how OP these champs are, and the realest of men actually have skincare routines. Introducing the easiest way to improve what most men neglect: the look, feel and smell of your skin with Manscaped Skin Ultra Advanced Kit, featuring 3 tubs of feature face glowing beauty with the brightening serum packed with vitamin C to brighten your skin, the exfoliating face wash that cleans up that gamer sweat and gym grimy grossness to prevent your pores from getting outplayed, and then we have the hydrator. This moisturizer is packed with shea butter to give you that sleek shine. All 3 dermatologists tested with no parabens or harmful crap. Just look at the before and after pictures of my face. Then there is the Face Buffer Pro, the perfect tool for vibrating and massaging the dead skin straight off of your soon-to-be pretty face. It feels fantastic and makes your skin instantly look more alive. Finally, there's the 2 free gifts that come with this package: the Ultra Premium Lip Balm that makes my lips smell and feel so damn good I want to kiss myself, as well as the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag, which I may or may not be using as a manly golf ball holder, but anyways, using my code RAV15 will get you 15% off all this, so thank them for sponsoring my videos, smoothing my skin, and let's get back to smurfing in the mid lane. Alright, so the first example in this video is on Tristana, and typically seeing a Zed as an ADC is enough to give me PTSD, erectile dysfunction for weeks, but as you'll see in a solo lane this becomes a non-issue. Since I'm not in a duo lane, I basically take advantage of living the bachelor lifestyle, only looking out for myself and certainly not rotating to help my jungler unless I can maximize my GPA, gold per auto, as I get credit for first blood. Then I come back in lane, and without having to worry about some Leona or Nautilus sticking so much CCs up my ass I look like a Kardashian, I am free to execute the hard combo that consists of standing still and auto-attacking until I win the 1v1. Typically if I was a bot lane ADC Trist I would be level 5 with less gold, but as a mid laner I have the level advantage over everyone on the rift, so I can pick more fights than a drunk MMA retiree in a dive bar without any fear. I do then head bot for what was a waste of my time, and this is when I was immediately reminded why I fucking hate supports and relying on them for anything, as this fat blue catfish doesn't even have the courtesy to put his low life on the line to body block my greedy ass, who chose to back in the worst spot ever, which long story short got me killed. And since I'm a lead player, instead of thinking about how I should be more careful about where I base, I instead just flamed him for my mistake in chat. But since I'm a mid laner with a short lane, a constant stream of solo XP and a bigger ego than Pokimane, I can just wait for this Cyberpunk 77Z to shit a shadow out, and then I make my move to full combo, wait for him to draw an X to mark the spot where he failed his ult, and then do some front flipping fatality chasing for the kill. I then head top, as Dante's mentioned. When you are ADC you are stuck behind and in the bot lane, with that being the only source of income for you, but as a mid laner you can succeed where Amber Heard failed, and that's by earning money from abusing a Jack Sparrow. Typically by level 11, if a Zed even sneezes in your direction there will be less color on your screen than a zebra documentary from the 1940s, but here's a shocking statement: when you aren't constantly 3 levels behind the solo laners, Your champ is OP enough to play these fights super shittily and still come out on top, which typically results in a forfeit as you will only snowball from there, but the second example shows just how insane you can pop off doing this. This one I was just blowing off steam from bullshit politics in the Piltover Police Department at my 9 to 5 by bullying this weaponized hula hooper, and I wanted to show in the very first play that I started off the game giga dog shit fucking trash horrible worst play of my life, just auto attack him rab, where I gave up a solo bolo and then missed the wave to show that while this would have single-handedly ruined a bot lane ADC's entire game, I'm about to get more fed than the FBI in this one. You see, my initial strategy was to show the level 4 bot laners that Riot's intentional code dictates that I should be a level 6 with my ult while they are still barely old enough to walk and wipe their own ass. I introduce myself to war-hungry Ratatouille first, bear trapping his escape route and then letting the cove host his corpse before laughing at the fact that this poor shithole has an Aatrox support, which just goes further to my point. Why would you ever play in this lane where you get stuck with these broken condom babies game after game? Then another perk of Caitlyn mid specifically is that even if you aren't faker swapping to your teammates' POVs every 7 milliseconds, as long as you are half paying attention to what's going on, you can just take 10 steps out of lane to hit a celeb shot to cash another paycheck. At this point, rather than an assassin being able to visit me and invert my anus like a taxidermist of terror, I can play a game of I don't need to see you to shit in your mouth with her while having the consistent damage that bursty mid laners are missing this early into the game, so throw Zeus's pet polar bear into the equation and it's an easy kill. Team fights over objectives do break out, but most people severely underestimate how many raw stats you get from each level, as if I was a level 8 like I would be in the bot lane I would easily die from deep-throating this Kiana combo, but I hit her with a dubstep flash and then I lob a warning shot to the steel-toed ninja. Then I guess because enemies are so conditioned to focus the low-level ADC, it's like I'm basically invisible in these fights while she's a dead bitch raging out having a shitty unfun time. I am here basically at a driving range having just an all-you-can-shoot buffet of dead bitches in front of me. They have one of the weaponized dragonfly junglers which at 2.5 items can typically one-shot an ADC, but Caitlyn in the mid-lane variant makes these encounters look slightly different. At this point there's a dragon spawning, but rather than having to tuck my scrotum into my own butthole and just wait for my team to engage while peeling for me, I am old enough to play it more risky than someone going all in on red, as the initial plan is to fight front to back, but then I chase away any assassins like a loud feisty chihuahua. Our actual ADC manages to die because that's just what ADCs do in team fights, because they are 3 levels behind everyone else and their support sure as shit isn't worried about peeling for them in this elo, whereas I survive to see all the bad guys die. Not to mention the hidden benefit of not dying during fights like this is I get to stay on the map to collect even more XP and gold while she is just getting further and further behind. Then another fight breaks out mid, and by fight I mean the ADC makes the mistake of taking 2 steps too far and getting butt fucked by an entire gang who is specifically looking for her on the map, so I come at tap Stanley the Scuttle from the back once, and then I enjoy the fact that everyone wasted their cooldowns on the squishy easy to kill target, and I can kind of just stand here and right click character models until they all get removed. Now I would like to show this next play as a perfect example to drive home my point. Since I am a level 15 instead of a dead level 11, the fact that I'm more pushed up than a whore's tits and I play this whole thing terribly doesn't go nearly as bad as it should. Instead of instantly dying like a dipshit, I survive long enough for that small plump Chinese boy to throw some adrenaline up my asshole, and so as a bot lane ADC I die here without getting any kills, but as a mid I get 2 kills, 900 gold, and I can copiously say my terrible gameplay was worth there. Then because we are in piss low we are just picking fights in weird ass places near no objectives with our floppy uncoordinated dicks out, but it doesn't matter because if me and a bot lane are both positioned poorly, I'm living to tell my grandkids the story of how she got shit on right in front of me before being able to pellet gun the rest of them down. Then, not to beat a dead horse, but at this point in the game it's very common for an ADC who was neglected resources all early game, neglected XP from being tethered to a retard in lane, neglected the ability to live in teamfights, is just a level 14 with only 2 finished items while I'm a level 17 with full build, so on the same exact type of champion, I am way more durable, way more useful, I do way more damage, and this I think shows why Riot has to keep ADCs in the bot lane, because if they aren't behind in level and gold they can just play like autistic buffoons and still hard carry games. As you can see I just bully everyone on the Rift, and with an insane KDA and top the damage meters. So I'm debating if I want to do a marksman mid-only climb series or show that mages are the better class for the bot lane. Let me know in the comments. Rav out.